What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video, I'm going to be doing a movie review on a movie I watched a few days ago with one of my subscribers and some of our mutual friends. We watched this movie, and now I'm going to be reviewing it. The movie is A Million Ways to Die in the West. The most recent Seth McFarlane comedy. I will say this first off. If you like Family Guy, obviously Seth MacFarlane and his biggest accomplishment has been the creation of Family Guy. It's a popular show. If you like Family Guy, and if you like the first Ted movie, by the way, Ted 2 is coming out, and it's, in my video on movies coming out in 2015, I highlighted Ted 2, because I did like the first Ted movie. So I had high hopes for this movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West, and without further ado, I'm going to get right into it. So this is produced, written, directed, and starring Seth MacFarlane. So he very much was involved in this movie. You have Seth MacFarlane, you have Charlize Theron, you have Liam Neeson. You have Amanda Seyfried from Mean Girls. Sarah Silverman, the comedian. Hilarious in this movie. Neil Patrick Harris. Giovanni Ribisi. So, with this, I mean, it has quite a cast. Such a good cast. And it has the voice of Lois. Alex Borstein, I think her name is. The voice of Lois on Family Guy. So A Million Ways to Die in the West is about this sheep farmer, played by Seth MacFarlane, who backs out of a duel at the beginning of the movie. He's not considered not tough enough by his girlfriend, played by Amanda Seyfried. So Amanda Seyfried becomes his ex-girlfriend because he didn't participate in this duel. So he's seen as cowardly. You know, a sheep farmer is like the lowest of the low, pretty much, in his western town. And then as the film progresses, he meets Charlize Theron's character, who is a robber, a bandit. And she's the wife. She turns out to be the wife of the most notorious bandit in all the Wild Wild West, played by Liam Neeson. And MacFarlane and Theron, they establish a friendship. She helps him shoot. She helps him shoot his pistol, or shoot his gun better. And he follows her along, and they establish a nice friendship. He gets jealous of Seyfried's new boyfriend, this mustache-loving dude who owns a mustache-loving store, Neil Patrick Harris. He gets into a confrontation with him and challenges him to a duel. And eventually the duel doesn't happen because MacFarlane backs out of it, and he runs into trouble with the mean bandit played by Liam Neeson, because one of Neeson's men discovered that MacFarlane and Theron kissed each other. He saw them kiss each other, so he reported it back, and Liam Neeson's angry that his wife, in this case Charlize Theron, was cheating on him with Seth MacFarlane. He didn't know it was him at the time, but... So anyway, the movie essentially follows life in the Wild Wild West in a very funny look for Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane's funny look at the Wild Wild West. So... he has to prove. So essentially the movie is MacFarlane's character has to prove that he's a tough guy, along with being a nice guy. You know, that he can display some tough aspects as well as be the nice guy that he is throughout the movie. So, as I said before, this is a really talented cast. And I think pretty much everybody delivers. Seth MacFarlane's the funniest part of the movie. Sarah Silverman's funny as a prostitute. She plays a prostitute in this movie, but yet she does not have sex with her husband, played by Giovanni Ribisi, who is pretty funny in the movie. Liam Neeson, okay, funny. You know, he's kind of the serious villain role in the film. But, you know, you kind of expect his character to be that way. Charlize Theron's pretty funny in this. She's pretty solid, I would say. Neil Patrick Harris is relatively funny. Amanda Seyfried, okay, she was decent. I could have liked. I would have wanted to. I wanted to see a little more out of her in terms of her contribution to the comedy, but it was okay nonetheless. A Million Ways to Die in the West. It got a 33% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So it definitely did not get the critical love. And it really, you really look at it, it didn't earn a ton of money. On a budget of $40 million, it earned $86.4 million. That's not a blockbuster. That's definitely not a blockbuster type film. Blockbuster type film is films that are well over $100 million, getting into the $200 million territory or higher. This was not a blockbuster. And fans of, I can kind of see how non-fans of Family Guy would be turned off by this film. You know, people who don't watch Family Guy and didn't watch the first Ted, I would imagine they'd be a little receptive towards A Million Ways to Die in the West, because it is a crude movie. It is a very crude movie. It's very lewd, it's crude, it's violent, you know, it's violent. It's surprisingly pretty violent. It's like there's a couple scenes in the movie that are like, what the hell just happened? But that's what you expect out of a Seth MacFarlane comedy. And it really worked for me. I have to say, I love this movie because I am a fan of Family Guy myself, and I'm also a fan of the first Ted. And I hope the second Ted, by the way, is going to be a good movie as well. So I really enjoyed the movie a lot. I laughed throughout. I really did. It was a very good movie. There was a little scene throughout. There was a little part of the movie that kind of moved along a little slow for me, and that's when they started getting a romantic relationship, MacFarlane and Theron's characters. And Amanda Seyfried wasn't the best in this movie, but everybody else more or less delivered their roles, especially Seth MacFarlane. So I would have to say, I'd give this movie a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the movie a lot. It definitely is a really good comedy. It was very funny, very good comedy. I was entertained throughout. I was laughing throughout. At times I was laughing quite hysterically. It was just a very good movie to me. And I think the people that I watched it agree. I think there were a couple of people. I watched it with 3 people. 2 of them, I'd say they liked the movie quite a bit. And the other one thought that it was okay. So nobody hated the movie, which I think it was hard for us to hate the movie because it was so darn funny. So, anyway, that's it for my review on A Million Ways to Die in the West. D-Rock 1992 out.